I haven't left work early in a long time. It felt good to leave early. Because when you get home, it's like you have a lot of things to. You have time to just relax, do both. You could just kick your feet without even having to rush. So that's a good feeling. Now I mean, today, not me, May 25th, 2021. Tuesday, already Tuesday. As you can see, man. Clean my shit, man. Fuck. Can't even see the glare. The glare on the camera. I hate it. There's always trucks out here, man. Don't get twisted. There's always trucks out here. Yeah, my nose keep running. Faco broke like Jock. Always gotta watch yourself type shit. The niggas be mad at you. They lied on me. You know how shit go, man. They always lying on me. Man, you know, I gotta start with the complaints. Let me file a complaint first. You know they be lying on me. Everybody knows that these niggas is liars, man. They are some liars, man. That's what they do. Narcissists. We already exposed them. I know yesterday I was actually speaking about, you see, a leader always look for solutions. That's what a leader does. A leader look for solutions to problems. He's a problem solver. That's what a leader's main job is to have solutions. He don't create problems. No, there is problems and a leader have solution. It doesn't necessarily mean that if there's no problem, a leader is not needed. You feel me? A leader makes solutions to things and maintains peace. Organizing everything else like that. So with all this narcissistical traits in there, I felt like it was time for us to go back to the basics and redefine what a man and a woman is, what our role is supposed to be in society and how we ought to conduct and carry ourselves. You feel me? We need to define each other, you feel me? We complement each other. We are made equal but have different functions. And I try to break it down all the way down to the proton and the electrons of things. You feel me? We are made equal. Literally. When you look at the protons and electrons, they balance each other out. The numbers are equal. There's the same amount of protons that's in an atom is the same amount of electrons that's in an atom. They balance each other out. You feel me? But each individual a proton has a different function, an electron has a different function. And I feel like we need to set the record straight on these things, and we don't confuse people. And you start thinking you are a bunny or a rabbit or this and that, because people don't know who they are. They don't know how to define themselves. See, it's one thing defining yourself. Like I said, man, everything else that you know is already in existence already. You just gotta pick the right one for you and fit into society as it already is. You feel me? All you gotta do is you're a proton. There's a reason why there's an XY chromosome and an XX chromosome. Until that change, you already has been picked to operate in the same function. Some people are very rebellious and want to redefine things to their own detrimentary. They try to redefine everything else like that. You can't redefine things. Feel me? Before I even tell you about how you're supposed to act, I gotta convince you that you are who you are supposed to be. You feel me? Niggas don't even want to accept themselves. It's very hard for you to even talk to them when they don't see themselves as a proton electron. They're like, no, I'm not. I'm not the person that you say I am. I am this, I am that. I am a breeze just passing by. Feel me? These niggas is delusional with this shit, you dig? So it's like, first you gotta let them know to the core of it all. You feel me? We are made out of atoms. And within each atom is the function of the family cell. Once a man and a woman come together, you create life, literally. And that is an atom. That's what an atom is about. So our very nature is at the core of who we are. You feel me? It's at the core of it all. You like, nigga, you can't even make this shit up. Nigga, it's scientifically proven. That's what I'm trying to break it down all the way to the energy talk of it. We are energy. Cannot be killed and cannot be destroyed, cannot be created. You feel me? You ought to carry yourself like a god. You ought to treat yourself like a god. You ought to be committed. You ought to stay faithful to you. Like, you have to be disciplined. You have to carry yourself with a lot of respect, especially as a man. You see, I said I was going to talk about each individual one, but we're going to start. I'm going to treat this shit like a letter. I will treat it like a letter. I will first speak in terms about the topic in a rough draft format before I give you the final makeup of it all, the final draft that it passed. Feel me? This is what we're going to do. We're going to, this topic, because when I speak about things, if you haven't noticed it yet, I slowly drop the information on you here, there, and there, scattered, you feel me? So you can be comfortable with what I'm saying first, so you can be familiar family, so you can be familiar with what I'm saying first. Then, when I finally speak about it, it'll be the final draft. So when I'm speaking, it doesn't sound foreign to you because you are, you have been educated about the topic that I'm about to speak about. So that's why I'm speaking about it the way I'm speaking about it, in terms of the way I'm speaking about it, feel me? It sounds like it's blah, 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 but it's like me, I'm just introducing you to each subject and topic. And I'm breaking it down each video, you feel me? And relating it to my life itself, because my life is public, so people can get to see these things and can relate to it and can compare it to themselves in their own light, however they want to, or choose to see it. So, you see, a man is a proton and a woman is an electron. See, the man is masculine and the woman is feminine. So the proton is the plus, which has that's a positive charge, and the electron has a negative charge, which is the feminine charge. You feel me? The proton and the electrons are separate. They're both separate entity of their own. You feel me? They have ones that they both operate freely. Feel me? That's those, you have the ratchet niggas and the ratchet hoes. Those are the protons and the electrons that operate freely. They are not bound. They're not bound to anything else. Even in the structure of it all, it behaves just like a human being will behave if it's not committed or bound to anything else. So when you look at a proton that's not bound to anything else, it act erratic. A proton electron, they're very high in temperature. Anything that's hot, let me just, speak it. Because I feel like I have to explain myself with every sentence. So I let me just tell the story. Because I don't want to miss you. I don't want to have to confuse you when I speak about these things. I feel like it's very important for you to want to carry yourself in a different way. So when I speak to you, I want to speak to your soul. What makes you who you? The energy that you cannot see, that you don't think you're made of. You feel me? People get mad at you because you do a little bit of research. I like to do a little bit of research. I already know these internally. You feel me? I know this. The information is within me. But I like to go over it just to make sure that nobody can come at me and be like, he said this and he was wrong and everything else like that. Now I gotta break the information down to its core so you can understand it. And I go over it just to look at this nigga. He just decided to stop right here and make a whole bunch of noise. You see, a man, he's like a proton that is just, he's not committed to anything else. So he cannot attract an electron. You feel me? Any proton that is not bound to that's not committed to what do you call it? Is neutron. It's a proton that cannot attract an electron. You better look at the definition on your own. So any man that's not committed to himself and anything above him, like what are you doing? When I say above him, it doesn't necessarily mean God. If you don't believe in God, then what are you doing? What are you committed to? Are you committed to your work? Are you committed to your kids? Are you committed to your purpose? What is it about you that you committed to apart from yourself itself? You see, a proton that is bound to a neutron is a proton that can attract an electron to orbit around him. So the only time an electron orbit around a proton is when the proton and the neutron are together in the middle, in the center. So that means the proton has a higher purpose for him to have the gravitational pull to attract the neutron to orbit around him. But a proton cannot have the gravitational pull to attract the neutron to orbit around him if he's not committed to the neutron. A proton cannot have the gravitational pull to attract an electron if it does not have a commitment to its neutron, to its purpose. This is scientific, my nigga. You can go see this shit yourself. I'm not even making it up. See, they punched me in my face a little bit, but it's all good. The lesson goes on. Let this shit pass by. Cause some of these niggas ain't men. You feel me? Some of these niggas ain't men. Feel me? So you feel me? So a proton cannot attract an electron. An electron will not orbit around a proton if the proton is not at the center core with the neutron itself. For it, they have to join, what do you call it? They have to join an agreement between the proton and the neutron for the electron to come and orbit around them and create a motion, create a cloud, create an atmosphere. You feel me? That's what the electron does when it sees that commitment between a proton and a neutron. This is when it creates an electrical cloud. It starts to flourish. You feel me? Literally, the bitch be coming and just everything else out of the come makes life itself. She is the piece that makes life possible. Literally, if you think about it in human terms. But before that can happen, the proton, which is a man, had to find his purpose or have to have a guardian or have to be at his core a good person. You feel me? At his core, the proton has to be a leader, but it has to be influenced by something that is greater than him himself. You feel me? This is the only way an electron will orbit around a proton. I know sometimes you be like, but nigga, we get bitches, but yeah, you be talking about the real woman and the real man. You feel me? I know there's a chaotic ones out there. I told you, a proton and electrons are separate entity of their own. They don't have to join together. You feel me? They just out there. They just floating around. The individual ones at that, just floating around doing whatever they're doing. They both cannot attract each other. You feel me? You got the positive ones. You even have a negative proton and a positive proton. You feel me? And you have a positive electron and a negative electron. And when these two meet, they annihilate each other. So you ain't even got to worry about these people. They destroy themselves anyway. When you look at it from the scientific point, if you go at the core of it, if you have a proton who is anti-proton, basically he's going against his own will. You feel me? These are the people who think they rabbits and they this and they that. They don't want to define who they are. They don't want to commit to who they are. You feel me? They think they are their own stuff. You feel me? So you have a proton which is naturally positive, but you also have a proton which is not. It does not want to be positive. It is a negative proton. Or you have a negative electron, which is supposed to be a negative, but you also have a negative, you have a positive electron. When these negative and positive protons or negative and positive electron meet, they annihilate each other. They destroy each other. They basically vanish. They just basically crash, boom, and everything just they destroy themselves. Literally, that's what goes on in human behavior. People who live outside of themselves, who don't commit to God's will and everything else, who don't do the right things in life and everything else, eventually after a while they destroy themselves. And you see that all the time. You see that a little bit in life itself. Sometimes we don't even stick around to see the whole story go through. Some of us are wise enough to remove ourselves from the situation. But what you don't know is that they destroy themselves. They destroy everything about themselves. You feel me? Because they're not being who they are. Because when you look at it, it's already written. The particles are acting it out. They're showing you what it's supposed to be already. It's showing you everything that you need to know. It's like, how would you do something like that when the particles is showing you this is what happens if you don't follow through? You feel me? Literally annihilate each other. They crash into each other. They're disruptive. You feel me? And they just crash. But when you have a family, if you have a bond, if you do the things the right way, and the man that's at the core with the neutron itself, the electron is automatically attracted to the proton. You see, if it's a proton by itself, although it is positive and it's by itself, it cannot attract an electron. It just can't. But once the proton attaches itself to the neutron, which is a neutron is no charge. A neutron is neutral. A neutron does not have a positive or a negative charge. You feel me? A neutron is like the God of it all, basically. You feel me? It's like the center core, the center of it all. It's like when you look into a neutron, you don't see nothing at all. It does not show you nothing at all. It just seems like there's nothing there, but yet there's so much there. You feel me? So it's like God itself. It's like we don't see God, but we believe God is there. It's like, how can you even define God himself? Does God have a phone? You feel me? It's like that kind. It's like the mystery of it all in a neutron. You feel me? It's like mysterious, but yet so powerful. You feel me? So once a proton attaches itself to the neutron, that is the only way an electron comes around and orbit around, like an Earth itself. Circular motion, back and forth. You feel me? Orbit around it. You feel me? Because a woman respects a man who's on his purpose. When we said masculine, we're not talking just muscles on the body or lacks brain muscles. We're talking about a leader. We're talking about someone who is fair in judgment. We're talking about a righteous individual. You feel me? We talk about a lot of things over there. You could go through the whole thing. I just use the word commitment. You feel me? Anybody that's committed to a purpose. You feel me? If you're in a relationship, are you committed to that relationship to be fair and just? Or you just committed when somebody's looking at you? You have to have integrity. That's why I just use the word commitment, because commitment can be tied into a lot of things. If I sign up for a job and I'm in a position, I am committed to doing my job and telling the truth. You see, it's a commitment. That's why I use the word commitment, because commitment can attach so much components to it. So that's why I said, is he committed to his purpose? You feel me? If you decided you're not gonna eat meat, are you committed to that? You feel me? Stuff like that. So a man has to be committed on his purpose for a woman to see this, for a woman to want to be. You feel me? But she's still chaotic because she's out there. She don't have that centerpiece that you have. She don't have that relationship according to the science itself. From the way I'm looking at it, you feel me? It's like Adam and Eve. Remember, Adam had the relationship with God first before Eve came along. And it's basically the same story that's being told in scientific term when we look at the proton and the proton and electrons. The proton is at the center of it all, having a relationship with God himself. Adam has a relationship with God. They're very close. that close. They're tight. They're some tight niggas. Now that's my nigga right there. You feel me? God had a relationship with Adam. So God's relationship with Adam is what brought forth Eve. Eve is the electron. You feel me? That's what happened. So your relationship with your commitment is what will bring you forth an electron. Is what's going to bring you forth the Eve. What is your Eve? What is it that you look? Your Eve doesn't have to be the opposite sex of you. You feel me? Your Eve can be, maybe you want a big house, or maybe you want a lot of riches, or maybe you want to go to another country to help people out. What is your Eve? You feel me? What is it that you're calling for? You feel me? That kind of stuff. What is it that you're trying to attract? What is it you're trying to attract so it can orbit around you and create the atmosphere that you want? You feel me? Doesn't necessarily have to be family. Some people just don't want family, whatever. If that's whatever your commitment. Maybe you have the family already, but you still need something else. So what is your what are you committed to, and what are you trying to attract into your life type shit? And this is what I'm learning just by learning the protons and the electrons, because I went down to the core of it all, and I realized that the Bible makes a whole lot of sense. You feel me? You can't fuck with the Bible. It's undefeated, my nigga. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. Feel how many minutes I've been recording? 25 minutes? All right, cool. We can keep going. What time is it? I got a little bit of time here and there. You feel me? Gotta keep spitting. You feel me? So it's like so you have to wonder and think to yourself, then how do people act out the way they act out like that? Because they're not committed to anything. They're doing the things that you think they make it seem as if they're committed, but they don't have that higher purpose in their life. They don't have God in their life. They're just doing it for survival purposes. So they're just doing it because they just feel like it's the right thing to do. They're doing it for a picture perfect. You feel me? What are they doing it for? They're not doing it for the right reasons. Feel me? And it starts with the man, of course. The proton, the atom, does not have the proper relationship with God himself. He's not attached to God. He has not allowed God to lead him. You feel me? You have to come in the company of God. You have to be in company with God. You know how niggas be like, I need some company? Who put that out? Drake. Drake was like, I need some company. Yeah, your company should be God first. Or your company should be a higher purpose, like a drive, something. Like, you feel me? Something that will motivate you. What is your company? What kind of company are you trying to keep? You feel me? I say God. You feel me? Whatever you want, whatever. I don't want to turn somebody into religious if they don't want to be spiritual or whatever you don't want to be. That's on you. I'm tired of trying to convince people to be good. You feel me? I'm just trying to make you see in a different light so you can carry yourself. You see, being good does not necessarily mean that it has to be tied to religion. Being good is an essential. It's like it's part of life itself. Behaving, you know what I mean, and carrying yourself with respect. You feel me? These are things that it's a requirement for life itself. You have to be committed to these things. You feel me? And it's a work in progress. You feel me? It's a process in itself. So how does that work? You feel me? When a man is not really committed to anything else. It's like, yeah, some of these niggas, yeah, they get money, they work and everything, but what is the purpose? What are they doing it for? Are they just doing it because they have to do it? Are they on the robot time? You feel me? It's like, are they just going to school because somebody told them they have to go to school? What is their purpose? What are they doing it for? They could be doing all the right things for the wrong reasons. I already made a topic on that. A lot of people do the right things for the wrong reasons. You see it every day, in spite of others. Or they want to be better than others. They're doing the right thing, but they're just doing it for the wrong reasons because they're trying to catch somebody else's attention. What is their reason? What are they committed to? Why is the reason why they're doing the things that they do? You feel me? I know it seems like I'm talking about the man right now, but I'm going to get on the women's too. You feel me? We're going to get on electrons. You see, the electron is very chaotic. It is not an excuse for a woman. Just because you have a chaotic nature doesn't mean that you have to be chaotic. You feel me? Even in the Bible, they told you about how curious Eve is. Eve was the one who spoke to the serpent. You feel me? She was so curious. You feel me? She was asking so many questions. You see, enlightenment, that's fire, light. Light is fire itself. You feel me? She was enlightened enough to the curiosity enough that generated in her for her to be wondering about certain things in life. You feel me? You understand? So this is what attracted her to even start asking the serpent and go speak to the serpents and everything else like that. The fiery in her, you feel me? The electricity in her, you feel me? What does electricity do? Electricity always connect things to each other, right? Electricity will give you light itself. What else does electricity do? Electricity is also a form of communication. We communicate through electrical impulse. That's the only way we communicate and see in this earth plane itself, through electrical impulse. You understand? So a woman has all this natural things in her. She's capable of doing a lot of things at a time. It's in her nature to do these things. You feel me? But she's erratic. She needs somebody to guide her. She needs somebody to mold her. You feel me? Literally, that's why God molded her. Basically molded her, but through Adam himself. You feel me? So a woman will always need a man. I don't care who you are. Look at these cops. They're always harassing people. They wanted me to see this. They was waiting for me to come on this side so I could see this. Look at them. This is bullshit. They know that. These niggas, they planning this whole shit. Father and daughter playing games out here. I don't want to see it. I don't even want to entertain it. I'm out of here. They bullshitting. These niggas is full of shit. The Popo ain't gonna arrest shit. The reason why they doing what they doing, cause they telling you that they're going to do something and you're going to have to call the cops and everything else like that. They try to show you some form of fear. These are people that are out of order. They're like the protons and electrons, you feel me? A woman will always act like the man in her life. So every time you see a woman behaving erratic, that means there's a lack of man in her life or there's a weak man in her life. She's always a representation of the man that she's around. That's why a lot of men get very upset when their women act a certain way, because it's like it's a reflection upon him. So if your girl is out there twerking and everything else like that, that means she don't have respect for you. That's why she's doing these things, and it's a reflection on you. That's why some men get very aggressive and want to discipline a woman, because it's like, bitch, you trying to embarrass me. It's already in him to want to do that. And in a perfect world, guess what? He will have the right to discipline her however he chose to do, because she's bringing an embarrassment to her. But in this world that we live in, she can act like that and call the cops or call Tyrone or call some sucker ass nigga to come fight for her, when this nigga is supposed to come over there and be like, yo, bitch, you know what you did was wrong. Like, come on, man, you disrespecting this nigga. Like, come on, man, this nigga, he attached himself to you. You feel me? He's already attracted you in, and look at the way you representing him. You see, a woman is a representation of her man. That's the reason why a man will give her soul. Literally, your sperm is a soul. That's why the man gives his soul to a woman, for the woman to house it in her. So in order for you to have a good house, like, you feel me, you can't just give your soul to any person who can house. Like, that's a dangerous game they play. You feel me? So these men are a bad representation of their woman. You feel me? I mean, when you see a woman acting erotic, it's a reflection of that man himself. So when you see these bitches, the way they act and everything else like that, you can tell they have a lot of weak men around them. And the reason why these men are weak, because they can't control these women. So they actually have an agreement with the woman to do